Hello everybody and welcome back to another video again. So today what we're going to look at is something that students seem to struggle with um, quite a lot, and it's adding and subtracting fractions. Now it shouldn't be a particularly complex topic, but what you do see is that because it's harder than multiplying fractions, a lot of students tend to struggle, even though in the past they have got this secure and well understood. So the things I'm talking about is something like maybe a half plus 3/4. Okay, that's one type. We could also have something like a seventh plus 3/7. And finally, the sort of final type we could have something like 2/5 plus, let's say, 3/9. Okay, so these are the three main types. Um, and what we're focusing on really is the denominators. Okay, so let's highlight them for now. Now, the key point, you can only add two fractions together or subtract once their denominators are the same. Okay, so what I see a lot of students try to do, see, I mentioned last video, I am a maths teacher in a UK secondary school, so I see this misconception all the time. So for this one, for the first one, I see people doing this. Okay, so they're saying 1/2 plus 3/4 is 4/6. Now, there's a couple of things wrong with this straight away. Um, Firstly, a half and 3/4 are comparing different wholes. Okay, a half says we've got a half of an amount, 3/4 says we've got 3/4 of an amount. There's no way we can add the numerators and denominators because we're not talking about the same quantity. Secondly, if I just rub this out quickly, um, let's look at their decimal counterparts. A half is 0.5. That's one you should just know. Similarly, 3/4 is 0.75. So when we add these two together, we get 1.25. There's no way on earth that 1.25 can be equal to 4/6. Okay, 4/6 is less than one whole. 1.25 is bigger than one whole. So let's look at how we actually do it. Okay, and I'm going to hopefully show you the most simple and effective method for getting these right every single time. Let's start with the one in the middle. Okay, so the one in the middle, because the denominators are the same, we simply add the numerators. So we can write this as 1 plus 3 over 7. 1 plus 3 is, of course, 4, and we've got 4/7. That's your answer. It's as simple as that. So once the denominators are the same, you add the numerators. Let's come back over to this first one. We saw as a decimal, this was 1.25. So hopefully we're going to get a fraction that's equivalent to that. Now the idea here is, what you can see is that 2 actually goes into 4, or in other words, 4 is a multiple of 2. So we can use our knowledge of equivalent fractions to say a half is the same as 2 over 4, and then 3 over 4 stays the same. So I've written the top line, this line, as 2 over 4 plus 3 over 4, and now similarly to the one in the middle, we just add together the numerators, and we get 5 over 4. If you check that as a decimal, it is 1.25. Okay, the final type of adding fractions you could be asked is where the denominators do not share a common factor. Okay, so 9 is not a multiple of 5. All right, or in other words, 9 is not in the 5 times table. So what you actually need to do is you need to find a common multiple of 5 and 9. So in other words, you're looking for a number that is in the both times tables. Okay, and the one we see that is it in both times tables of 5 and 9 is actually 45. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn both of these fractions into 45s, or into 45ths. You can see with this first fraction, I've had to multiply 5 by 9. So that means I have to do the same thing to 2. Okay, 2 times 9 is going to be 18. And similarly, I've had to multiply 9 by 5. So I have to multiply 3 by 5 as well. Okay, 3 times 5 is 15. Now that I've got the same denominator, I can simply add together the numerators. Okay, and 18 plus 15 is 33. And that is it. That is a quick masterclass on adding fractions. If you are ever asked to subtract fractions, the only difference would be When you get down to this stage here, instead of adding, you subtract. Okay, so if you were asked the question, what is 2/5 take away 3/9, this would be the same as 18 minus 15 over 45, which is 3/45. Okay, really hope you found this